Alright guys, welcome back to another one. We're covering them SuperMags today, the big shoulder breakers. Yes, they kick really hard, way worse than your 2 and 2¼ ounce loads, way worse than a 2½ ounce load, because the velocity is normal. It's 1200 FPS, it's not 1050, it's not 1100 FPS like most of your heavy, slow loads are. 12 gauge is a 2¾ ounce load. The 10 gauge is a 3 ounce load. Again, both 1200 FPS. Now, I should mention, I don't have a chronograph. I can't confirm that they're 1200 FPS, but the couple people that also load these do have chronographs, and they claim they're 1200 FPS, and they feel like they are. They also look like they are. When you fire these, the pellets hit the target almost immediately. I feel like if this was slower than, a subsonic load, the camera would show it hitting the patterning board a lot slower than they do. So, I believe these truly are 1200 FPS loads. Again, like I've mentioned in a previous video, we will get a chronograph down the road when money's a little bit more sound. I have these holes already primed and ready to go with the buckshot loads, just to save a little bit of time. Now, all of these loads have to be fold crimped or roll crimped, with the exception of the 3 ounce turkey load in the 10 gauge using a Remington hull. I have some right here. These hulls are a few millimeters longer than the Federals, and they have a much lower base wad. And you can use a full-length TPS wad and still get a fold crimp. But I'm not doing that. We're just going to stick to roll crimps. And actually, guys, I'm not even going to roll crimp these loads today, because we've already filmed the video patterning these. I'm not sure if it's up on YouTube yet, but if it isn't, it will be soon. I don't need any more of these loads right now, so I'll be putting them together and then just taking them back apart, because again, I don't need any more at this moment in time. We're going to start with the turkey loads. I'm going to cover 3 different wads here, which you can and can't use. We have the MG42, Claybuster, CB1138, and the Guandi Super Mini, the little green wad. The MG42 will not work, and I'll show you why here in just a moment. Now, for the 12 gauge, don't weigh that, weigh the hull. For all of the loads except for one, you need 42 grains of powder, hodged in the little gun. For the 28 pellet #1 buck, mine's 29 caliber, not 30. You need 40 grains, because it is already a 2 3/4 ounce load with just the lead payload weight. If you want to use buffer, you have to drop it down to 40 grains, and that works fine. I'm sure it'd be fine with 42 grains too, because little gun is a very slow burning powder for large bore shot shells. The PSI in the 10 gauge load, I believe, is hovering around 8,000–9,000, and again, that's just due to the nature of the powder. We're going to be doing the turkey load here, so 42 grains. There's 23, 31. Must have got a poor scoop there. 42. And with these, always double check your powder charges. Still 42, okay. Okay, the first wad I'm going to show you is the CB1138 with this load. This wad lets you get the most room in the hull. Almost enough room to fold crimp it, but not quite. The hulls end up crushing if you try to fold crimp it. I do have Remington 12 gauge 3½ inch holes, and they might work. I haven't tried them yet. They're once fired with a fold crimp. I might give that a try at some point down the road. but I'm not sure if that would work for the fold crimp because, as you guys will see, there's just not a lot of room left. Okay, 2.7 ounces of whatever size bird shot you want. This is number 6 shot, a mix of unplated, copper, and nickel-plated shot. I just mixed it all together because I had so little copper-plated and nickel-plated shot. It wasn't worth just setting it aside for one load. I think I had an ounce of each. So I just mixed it in with my regular number 6 shot. The reason why it's 2.7 ounces is to allow room for buffer. If you don't want to use buffer, then take it up to the full 2 3/4. So many scoops. Okay, here's 2.7. See what I was saying? There's just not a lot of room left to actually crimp this. For a fold crimp anyway. Plenty of room to roll crimp it. Okay. There is the load with the CB1138. You could also use, let me find a hole with a primer in it. That'll work. Pull this back out. The Gwandi Super Mini. Where'd I put it? Right here. You get a little bit less room with this wad. Check it down in there. There we go. Still enough left to roll it, but we're running out of room fast. The MG42 or the TPS wad would be my choice here, but with either. I'll show you the TPS too. The MG42 here, get that in there. Yeah, it's just not going to work. See what I'm saying? There's no room left to even roll that. And I believe with the TPS wad, it's still not enough room left to roll it. Let me grab one out here. Come on. There we go. 3.5 inch 12 gauge TPS wad. These are unslit. Oops. Yep. Still not enough room left to even roll it. So my options are the Super Mini or the CB1138. Actually, I need this haul. Okay, so that covers the turkey load. Let's move on to some buckshot, shall we? We have in here 42 grains of little gun, 1/4 inch fiber cushion wad. I'll be starting off with the 28 pellet number 1 buck. Also, like I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to use buffer with the 28 pellet number 1 buck load, 29 caliber, drop your powder down to 40 grains, not 42, and that'll allow room for buffer. Four more. And there's your 28 pellet number 1 buck load. Again, it's 29 caliber. I'll tell you what the payload weight on this right here is. I think it's 2.73. 2.72. So really not enough room for buffer unless you drop your powder charge down a little bit. But 28 pellets of 29 caliber buckshot is a monster load. Another one you could do is 14 pellets of quad buck, 375 caliber. It's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And this is a duplex load. 2 pellets of your 29 cal right on top. And that's just to make weight without being overweight, as Josh puts it. Total payload weight, at least for the lead, is 2.68. There's room for buffer with this load without having to drop your powder charge. That one is a great load. Nothing will walk away from that. Those big pellets carry a ton of energy quite a distance. Come on, get out of there. There we go. The next one is going to be a duplex load with double aught and number 1. Does 15 pellets of 33 caliber double aught buckshot sound like a monster 12 gauge load to you guys? It's because it is. But we're going well beyond that. 15 pellets of double aught buck, stacked by 3s, goes in the bottom, and then 9 pellets of number 1, 29 caliber, goes on top. Because the 29 cal likes to stack by 4s, and these need to stack by 3s in order for the load to be properly oriented in there. You can't really go stacking a row of 3 pellets on top of a row by 4, it just won't work. 3, 6, 9, 12. And there's 15 pellets, and that is already a mean 12 gauge load. That's an 1 7/8 grandfather clock. Oh, this is a 3-inch load right here. It's about top end for it, and it is a very, very good load. And you're going to want to add 9 pellets of 29 cal to that. There it is. Total lead payload weight is 2.68. Again, plenty of room for buffer, and yes, that clock is very, very annoying. Yep, plenty of room for your buffer. Oh, I should have kept that double aught. We can load 21 pellets of double aught and 2 pellets of number 4 buck just to make weight with, again, not being overweight. Seven, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And 21 pellets of double aught is 2.51. We need 2 pellets of... Where's the other one? There it is. 2 pellets of number 4 buck. That brings us up to 2.63. Plenty of room for buffer, and you're actually going to be a little bit underweight for this one right here, but not that much. That load is a really good one. It's pretty much just straight double aught, and you got 2 tiny pellets. Get these back out of here. And yeah, guys, all my pellets are powder coated and tumbled. Like I always say, you don't have to tumble them. I mean, you don't have to powder coat them, but tumbling them really does improve patterns. If you're loading them conventionally with, no wad or shot cup like these loads right here are, that's where your powder coating is going to come into play. That's going to really, really cut down on lead fouling in your barrel. Put this over here. Let's do I didn't have one in the video, but let's do a number 4 buck load. Where is my number 4 buck? Not here. Did I leave it at Josh's house? I believe I did. Guys, I believe I left my number 4 buck at Josh's house. Nope, here it is. He was loading up some number 4 buck shells. I brought my number 4 buck over there. I thought I left it. Let's just see how many pellets this takes. Oh, that's a lot. 2.66. That's going to give us room for buffer. And yeah, it looks like you could fold crimp that one if you wanted to. Let's see how many pellets it is. Just bear with me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you guys want to take bets on how many pellets this is going to be in the comments, go ahead. No cheating. It was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. At least we know I can count to 50. 51, 52, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 56 pellets. Let's see how much. It should be 58 pellets. Yeah, 58 pellets is a true 2 3/4 ounce load, but load 56 so you can add your buffer if you wanted to. So 56 pellets and number 4 buck. Coyote, not the Nuke, because I call my 10 gauge 3 ounce number 4 buck load the Coyote Nuke. I don't know what you call it. If you guys got any names that you would want to call a 2 3/4 ounce number 4 buck 12 gauge load, let me know. Can't be the Coyote Nuke though, because that's the 10 gauge 3 ounce load. Get these back in here. I believe that wraps up 12 gauge. Let's move on to the 10 gauge now. Start with one I've loaded before on the channel, at least a couple times. 16 pellets of quad buck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's your 16 pellets of quad buck. Again, roll crimp it. Total lead payload weight is 2.84. Plenty of room for buffer in that one. That's almost 2 7/8. You could. I've loaded so many of these with the proper amount of buffer in it, it gets you right up to 3 ounces. And that is one of my favorite shot shell loads, period. Again, them big pellets carry a ton of energy a long way. 24 pellets of double wide. I've also loaded this one here on the channel many, many times. It's also one of my favorites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24. Total lead payload weight is 2.9. Still plenty of room left for buffer. Yep, that's a nice load right there too. Love double lot. 30 pellets of number 1 buck, 29 cal. It's 12, 17, 20, 24, 30. Oh, that was 31. 30 pellets of 29 cal is 2.93 ounces. Again, you got room left for buffer. That's a lot of pellets in there. And these pellets still are plenty big enough to drop deer at some moderate range. I believe the reason I didn't use any single lot is because I just couldn't get it to work without having to go to a duplex load, and I didn't want to do a duplex load in the 10 gauge, but in the 12 gauge is fine. And as you guys will see in the patterning video, if it's not already up yet, it will be soon. I think I mentioned that earlier. The duplex loads did really well. Let's see if I can get this. On 16. 23. 28 pellets is 2.95 ounces. You're getting iffy whether you can add buffer to that or not. If you wanted to, I suppose you could. Maybe drop your powder charge down to 43 grains, and 28 pellets of single aught buck 31 caliber would probably make a nice load. I might have to test that one in the future. What else did I do here? Oh yeah, 62 pellets of number 4 buck. I'm not going to throw that one together because it's tedious. Let's do the 10 gauges turkey load now. What did I do with it? You know what? I'll just pull the wadding out of here. Where's my screw? There it is. I use a screw long enough to fit down into the hole. Don't puncture your gas seal, just turn it to where enough to where it just grabs it. And then pull it out. There you go. Squeeze that back together. That's still perfectly good to use. Didn't puncture my gas seal. We still have the 45 grains of little gun in there. TPS, 10 gauge, 3.5 inch pre-slit wad. .95 ounces of whatever birdshot you like. This is the best turkey load in the world. It beat all factory loads. This was at 30 yards, by the way. It beat all TSS 30-yard shots. Because when you have 3 ounces of lead, you're going to get some extreme density. Again, that's a lot of scoops. There we go. Stop at 2.95 ounces. That was 2.97 actually. 2.94, that'll work. Stop at 2.94, 2.95, somewhere in that ballpark, and add your buffer if you want it. If you don't want to add buffer, go up to 3 ounces and you're good to go. Roll crimp it, and that is the best turkey load in the world. You can't beat it. I have pictures of the first time we patterned this right here in the first video that I deleted. There was an accident. I didn't mean to delete it. It was an accident. You guys will be seriously impressed by the pattern, and in the refilm, the video you guys will be watching, or maybe have watched already, I don't know. It was no slouch either. It was really, really good. Just go ahead and dump it back out. And yes, we will be doing more with the 3 ounce and 2 3/4 ounce loads down the line. You guys stay tuned for that. I guess that's going to wrap the video up here. I should mention, load these at your own risk. It's stepping into the territory of the almost unknown. I don't think pressures are all that high because the Mossberg 835, it gives us pressure signs with 31 grains of long shot and a 2, I think it was a 2 1/4 ounce load. They weren't technically pressure signs. It's what's called the Mossberg marks. It has a large firing pin hole in that gun, so the firing pin flows, the primer flows back into the firing pin sometimes, and the thinner brass or steel heads on the Shaddai hulls and the Fiocchis, it deforms with higher pressure loads. Still not overpressure, just higher pressure. And these 2 3/4 ounce loads at 1200 FPS out of that gun did not give us any of that. All the loads, all the hulls look beautiful, aside from the wrinkles in it where the pellets come out of it without Mylar wrap. The 10 gauge has never given us a problem with 3 ounce loads. We have never seen any pressure signs to even begin to speak about with them. Everything is good to go with these 2 loads right here. But again, load them at your own risk. Double check all of your powder charges and have an ice pack ready after you get done shooting these. Have a strong shoulder. If you could put up with the recoil, these loads, especially the turkey loads, are worth it. Now, they're not extended range loads. They may not be the most powerful loads. They may not be the best loads, but they are the biggest. We want to thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, thumbs up the video. We greatly appreciate that. If you got any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section. Josh reads the comments too. If you got anything you want to ask him or talk to him about, he'll get back to you too. And I guess we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.